Good evening, everybody. Hello. Fancy seeing you all here. I mean, been a hell of a week. I think we can say it that way. It's been a hell of a week. I mean, imagine 9/11, but it was 7 days long. 7 days of building 7. I mean, we're at that level of like, ah! We'll get to all that in a minute. Anyways, hi, everybody. Good evening. It's Thursday night. So it's time for the weekly stream. Got a lot to talk about. Lots to talk about. So, everybody, welcome if you are new and you see me through some of the things about Nick Rekieta or Alec Baldwin or Kieran Reed. My name is Sean Martin, also known as Potentially Criminal. I am an attorney in Ohio. I work out of the Cleveland, Ohio area, predominantly on the eastern side of Cleveland. And I work in East Cleveland, but I don't live there. I'm in the eastern part of Cleveland, in the suburbs. And I focus on criminal defense work, but I do all kinds of legal stuff in between. And that's kind of how we do this channel. A lot of criminal stuff, but a lot of stuff in between. Like this morning, we covered why Alec Baldwin's indictment survived the challenges before it. Now there's just the motion to dismiss for the destruction of evidence. And the other motion to dismiss that was filed by Baldwin's attorneys that has to be addressed. But for now, the case moves forward. Thank you for everybody here. Everybody watching on Twitch and Twitter. Guys, we stopped using Kick. Kick wasn't working too well. Nobody was actually watching on Facebook, so I kind of got rid of that. And Rumble keeps fighting me, so I don't know what to do there. But I do want to say hello to everybody on Locals. If you guys don't know what Locals is like what Patreon was supposed to be and what you'd imagine Patreon to be. And over at potentiallycriminal.locals.com, you get access to, just like in Patreon, you get access to the page. And to sign up, it's free. And you get access to the page. You can comment on things. I will make announcements on there. I post things up there. You can post things up there. Other people can post things, and you guys can talk to each other. You can call each other's liars and massage shills or whatever you want to call yourself. And go back and forth, and you can do that there. In addition, though, if you wish to support me, you can do so. It's only $3 a month. That's the least amount they let me charge you. If you pay for 10 months, you get 2 months free. Like I said, sometimes I mess that up and say it the wrong way around. But you pay for 10, you get 2 free. And that gives you 12 months, 1 full year. Now, what do you get with that $3 a month? Well, that $3 a month, you get access to the live shows. We do 2 live shows a week. So that's 8 total in a month. Sometimes you get extra ones, especially if there's like a Formula One race or something else we're doing. Like Mr. Medicare's on. We'll go over there and hang out and have a watch party. So I think at this point now, I've actually exceeded 14 streams in a month. That's a pretty good standard. It's a pretty good standard. Other people out there, other creators, do at least 14 streams a month. It's good for you on Locals. In addition to that stream, we do a Monday night stream. It's one of the weekly streams. We usually start about 8 to like 8:45-ish. Sometimes a little bit closer to 9. Whoops. And then we also do a live stream after this show. So whenever this ends, usually about 10, 15 minutes, take a break, take care of some stuff. And then we come back and we hang out over at Locals. And after the show, it's the after party. So we hang out there. It's a lot of fun. We talk about all the things that we didn't get time for here, things that aren't appropriate here, or just, whatever, all kinds of fun stuff. And before I forget too much, if you do sign up, you get access to the Thursday live chat. And that is for everybody. It's free, but the live shows are not. And in the live chat, we just run it along. You guys can hang out in there. I try to check in on you guys from time to time, see how you're doing. And if you have anything you want to say or smart ass or make fun of me or whatever it is you want to do. But that is always available to you guys. And that is actually up right now because I forgot to put it up. Whoops. But that is up right now. It's there for you guys. We also have the Safe House. It's a great place you can go to that's always available. You guys can always take a look at and always hang out at. And that's usually always up for people. And why is... Oh, that's why it's... For some reason, the Safe House wasn't pinned anymore, guys. The Safe House is repinned. So you're all set, chat. Are you guys in there tonight? Are there people in here? Yes, there are people in there. All right. So that's over there. If you guys would like to try this out and you don't know if it's for you, you can use the promo code SWITCHY. Yep, SWITCHY, like back of a Glock SWITCHY. And you can get 1 month full free access. And if you think it's for you, I'd appreciate it if you join. If not, no harm. And I'll see you around. So I hope to see you guys there, potentiallycriminal.locals.com. Also, if you guys are new, we try to give people about 10 minutes to filter in just because, yeah, everything sucks about notifications. So, Stabby says, as soon as I buy the hot tub, the frequency of local streams is going to nosedive. I'm not going to let you guys watch me get in a hot tub that'll look like chicken getting lowered into a pot. Mr. Squiggles, a member for 20 months, says, sup, Sean, really looking forward to this blog. Yes. I am really upset. That's the one thing out of this whole, as they say on Kino Casino, the RQ, the Rekieta question, that we're bloggers. The police, like the pastor who like started all this off, it's like, I think he runs a blog on YouTube, and I'm just like, no. I mean, that'll almost shame me into not wanting to do this anymore. That I'm a blogger. I'd rather be known as being in fucking Al Qaeda or ISIS instead of being a blogger. I mean, that's so disgusting. Like, I feel dirty. I feel dirty being referenced as a blogger. Just, douche chilling. It's so bad. It is so bad out there. Do I ever explain the law? I try, but I'm a bit stupid. So take your mileage may vary there. The sign-up's get a free copy of Super Killer. Okay. Oh God, I wouldn't do that to you guys. If that, I would the sign-ups will get a bullet to the skull before they get that. That'd be more gracious than getting Super Killer. Who opened the cans of SpaghettiOs? I don't know. That said, I can imagine the kids all sitting there eating, the Rekieta kids all eating SpaghettiOs, and they're sitting there like it's a picture of Monte Casino, and it's the guys, it's like day 45, and there's just piles of K rations everywhere. Just eating out of open top cans is like, instead of artillery shells and Nebelwerfer screaming in and exploding, there's just like cocaine dust in the air and whiskey bottles smashing around, and they're just like huddled down with their helmets on. Garrett says, I'm addicted to Mexican Coke that comes in a bottle. Yes. And Bob says, well, Bob, I don't want to speak that because I don't want to get in trouble for advertising for no things on YouTube, but that is interesting. Huh. I may have to look at them soon. I may have to look at them. I am the hard R blogger. Blogger with a hard R. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Jackpot. Hi, how are you doing? 14 streams on local sounds very contractual. Well, I established a contract with you. We have a rapport. We have that trust we put together in each other, and we build a contract. And with that, we are at 10 minutes. All right, chat. 615 people here, and Twitter is apparently giving me like 400 for some reason. 400 ghosts watching. Hi, ghosts. Karen got first. Am I working on the blog dozer? I feel like I need to. I feel like I need to go knock on some doors in Candy, Ojai County and be like, listen here, sir. I do not run a blog. How dare you? Maybe I'll do it with tears in my eyes so they know I'm serious. Like, That is it. A good day to you, sir. Just walk away. That'd be great. Nozaku says, Sean, we lost the blog again. No. Yes. Florence Stono says, what it do, my blogger? Anonymous says, the worst part about Trump being convicted on all 34 counts, spoilers, that he can't run for president anymore. Look up Trump Rule 34 for more info. I don't think you should look that up. Benjamin Lewis says, Sean Martin, the #1 internet radio talk show host. I can handle that. Because Art Bell did talk shows, and Art Bell was cool. So was Rush. I can handle that one. Giga Mango Fanta says it's official. Chicago pizza is now better than NYC pizza. Never in a million years. No. Viv Photography sent a $5 sticker in. Thank you, Viv. If you meant to say something, feel free to post it. I don't want you to, in case that was a mess up. Unhung Hero says, but still, thank you in the meantime. Thank you. Unhung Hero says, I'm going to come all over this blog. Who will be elected the new law pope? I don't think we're going to do a papacy. I don't want it. D says, what up, my blogger? Or is it my blogger? I forget the hard R was your word. Thank you. And then ScudX says, despite only making up 13% of the internet population, bloggers commit 56% of the unfunny cold meme posts. Oh. That's a shame, says Sean. Someone in Peter Tragos' chat, that's lawyer, which Peter is great. I think he's a very smart guy, very knowledgeable. I wish I could do the hair like he does. I mean, I like my hair, but I wish I could do the swarthy Mediterranean hair like he does. He does it good. Also, nice and black. I wish I could have the black hair again. And I wish I had grown my beard out when I could have had black. But yeah, it's time takes care of that. Someone in Tragos' chat today asked if Chad Daybell could still get the death penalty if he was found not guilty in all counts. And I will never recover. If people don't understand the system, I can't say that's a dumb question. If they didn't really know, they didn't know. Love It 2 Times says, do you think Rumble or locals will try to distance themselves from Nick? I mean, if they haven't already. I mean, do we now they're going to sever the contract? I don't think there ever was a contract. Katie says, is this a blog or a vlog? I will ban you. Forget Binger. Blogger is the new substitute N-word. Well, anyway, we're going to move on. We got stuff to talk about. So, yes, Nick. If you guys remember, last week we had a stream where it was all Nick all the time. Because it was pretty big. So if you guys were not aware and you've been living in a hole in the ground, Nick was arrested and charged with felony drug possession, possession of a firearm while possessing drugs, and endangering children by having them around while you're possessing drugs. Kayla, his wife, was arrested and charged with the drug possession. She was also charged with child endangering. Now, I know people are freaking out about the abuse allegation thing in the count. I think that's a typo because there's nothing in the search warrant or any of the evidence we've gone through so far that indicates there was any abuse. So, like I said, I think that was a typo by the sheriff and a typo when it got filed because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. So she was charged with those. The child endangering stuff and the gun stuff, those are all misdemeanors. They only face up to 364 days in jail. The drug possession, they're facing up to 25 years. Are they going to do 25 years? No, they're not. Nobody's going to the prison to make license plates. Not yet, at least. This case is barely started. We're only a couple of days in. All kinds of stuff is happening so far. Police reports are getting leaked unauthorized. There's all kinds of stuff right now, guys. But what we do have an update on, and I mentioned it briefly last night, and I'll just point it out again in case you are wondering. Nick has bonded out. He posted a $5,000 cash bond with a bondsman, and the bondsman fronted a $50,000 bond for Nick. So he's out on an unconditional bond, meaning He can go, basically, I do what I want, whatever I want. And that's true. He is basically an unrestricted bond. He's not immune from being arrested for committing new crimes, but he is not under any conditions of bond. He can leave the state, he can drink, he can do drugs, he can do whatever he wants there. Now, he might get new charges for doing drugs or something like that, but the court cannot revoke his bond because he went out and hit the slopes. They can file a motion for that, and they can, like, we want to modify bond, but it's not automatically a disqualifying thing. Now, for his wife, Kayla, she's still under normal restrictions, but she had to post no money. So she can't leave the state. She can't do drugs. She can't do alcohol. She has to check in. She'll be subject to drug testing. But Nick is probably out right now enjoying the May skiing weather out in rural Minnesota. Because when you want to hit the slopes, this is the time to do it. Oh, where are we at now? So that's where we are, guys. And we still don't fully know everything that's going to happen. What's going to happen with Nick's case? How's it going to go? I don't know. And as I said, ultimately, I hope at the end of the day, when this is all done, everything turns out better for Nick. He's in a better spot than he is right now. But before that happens, he's got a long road to hoe. And I don't mean April. I mean actually hoeing the road. So a long time to deal with that. And like I said, we don't know everything yet. His hearing date is August 20th. So we've got, in the meantime, people are trying to get the body cam. The farms needed like 3 G's. Null got like $6,000 put together. I am working with Null's attorney, Matthew Harden, who was licensed in Minnesota. And him and I spent some time today working on an affidavit. I know other attorneys have, Legal Mindset has, other attorneys have. Given my time being on with Nick frequently, we put together cooked up a little different affidavit. We're getting that all put together. I think it's all set. I think it looks good. I got it, punched it up just a little bit. I got to go to, I have court in the morning. So hopefully when I'm there, one of the clerks there can notarize my signature, because that'd be neat and save me a lot of time. So then I don't have to go to the bank, because even though I'm a notary, I can't notarize my own signature. That's actually like never. If you ever become a notary, guys, this is like free legal advice. This little part right here. Don't ever notarize your own signature. That's a bad fucking idea. Never, never, never do that. But yes, in the meantime, the collapse of the Baldoverse has created like such a black hole. It's drawing in Comicsgate. It's drawing in the Culture Warriors. The sector is starting to like burn a little harder. The fire rise. The fire rises. The fire's just out of control, chat. I mean, it's like one of those when you hear about like Tokyo getting firebombed, just like. I mean, like Robert Barnes came out of nowhere and I started taking shots from everywhere. I start talking to somebody in Discord, and that person ends up giving that to Ethan Ralph, and then Ethan Ralph's like, "What you know?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know." And now Ethan Ralph puts it out there, and now Anna's all freaking out in between, like sucking down dirt and shit. Like this is out of fucking control, chat. It's out of control. It's out of control, man. This is a civil war, and the weirdest thing, and this is the thing I don't get. And this is actually going to dovetail really good into the other big thing that happened today with Trump. Everybody has this need to like shove their chips right into the middle of the fucking table. It's like watching guys in World Series poker. It gets to them and like up, they look at the cards, they're like, all in. It's like, chill the fuck out. Chill out. You don't need to throw all your chips in like that, because here's the thing. You do that, the other guy who's been kind of sitting there might just go, call. And he shoves all his shit into the middle of the table. That should scare you. If you're the first guy running out in the street, shoving all your, it's very much like I heard this advice I saw this advice on the internet once. If you think it's, the revolution or it's time, if you think it's go time, it's boogaloo time. and you run out your door and your neighbors aren't standing out on their step holding a gun too, it's probably not time. So, just like with this whole Nick thing, guys, hold off. I mean, I've made, I looked at things, I've made statements, sure. But I'd like to argue those are based in, rationality and things like that. But don't be like Barnes and just shove everything out in the middle of the table without really know what you're doing. And I take Anna too. Like, you know what? If you actually read what I said, I said, I heard that too. But instead, she's out there screaming and hollering at me like she's Ethan Ralph. Like I heard the hollering, it wasn't the hollering hog from Arkansas. It was the hollering hog from like Portugal out there by way of Los Angeles. Squeal and squeak. Wow, wow. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Like, what? Chill the fuck out there, guys. Like, everybody, just chill the fuck out. Just chill out. So, there's gonna be enough to go along. You guys, we can't run around with our hair on fire until August. That it just doesn't work that way. You don't have enough hair for that. Take a deep breath. This is a long game. It's a long game. All right. Now, moving on from that, Trump. Yes, former President Trump was convicted today of 34 counts. And we can argue it wasn't the charges are bullshit. It wasn't fair. The jury was fucked up. The jury instructions were bullshit. Judge McCann sucked as a judge. They got all kinds of shit in they shouldn't have had. Fuck Alvin Bragg. Yada, yada. Yes, all those things are true. But for right now, he got convicted. Is he going to appeal it? Sure. But especially with something like this, before you say something, especially going on Twitter, Facebook, anything like that, or to your friends, family, coworkers. And I'm sincere when I say this, take a deep fucking breath about what you're going to say. Take a deep, deep fucking breath. Okay? This, just chill. Because just chill. Okay? I'm not telling you to cope and sneed, but just think about what you're saying and think about what you're doing. Because that's how, I want to help. Well, that's how you help. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. I won't say anything else. I ain't your dad's. So that's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say about it, but I think that's important to look at it from that way. Clyde just took a deep bark. Yes, he did. I don't know what he's yeah. I don't know what he's barking at. He's a dog. He barks at shit. That's what he's a dog. He's an alarm for me. So if he's never barking, that's actually not a good thing. Domo says, but I want to set my hair on fire. Well, do so at your own risk. Do so at your own risk. All right, so let's get to what happened with former President Trump. And I only use CNN, or I only use the AP because it was the one that came up that was loading and did give me problems. Okay. So, yes, he was convicted. He was convicted of all 34 counts. All right. Now, this idea, it was all 34 charges to illegally influence the 2016 election through a hush money payment to a worn out whore he had sex with. The idea, like I said, the laws are meant to apply. It's okay, great. That's arguments that are going to be made. But for right now, he got convicted. The L is here. You got to deal with the L. You can deal with the L like an adult, or yeah, we can coat, seed, bald, whatever. So yes, after 9 hours of deliberations. So, I agree with Trump. It was rigged and it was disgraceful. I thought it was bullshit. And the real verdict will be November 5th. Now, the sentencing is set for July 11th, just days before the RNC convention in Milwaukee. The verdict is a stunning legal reckoning. Yeah, I don't really think so there. Does it expose him to potential prison time? Yes. Yes, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is where we need to look at stuff, and this is where you look at, practicing lawyers. What does a practicing lawyer think? And this is a guy I follow on Twitter, Scott Greenfield. He is an attorney out in New York. He's a criminal defense lawyer. You could probably call him part of Law Twitter, but he's pretty good. He's pretty good. So he points out falsifying business records in the first degree is a Class E nonviolent felony. The minimum is probation. The max is 1 to 1 3/4, 1 1/3 to 4 years imprisonment. First offenders ordinarily get probation for an E-class felony. So just I mean, yes, could Trump get sent to prison? But yeah, just calm down. Just chill. I mean, now's not the, as Bain said, now's not the time for panic. That comes later. Now's not, he said, now's not the time for fear, doctor. That comes later. And so, yes, this was interesting when you look at what happened with Trump's jurors. So out of all 12 of them, one of them, juror number 2, got their information off True Social, and they convicted. So who knows what they really did? I don't know. But if you want to have a conspiracy theory and you run wild on that, great, go ahead, do it. But this guy voted too, so I mean, let your conspiracy theories run wild. I'm just trying to give you non-copium based thoughts, because that's what you need right now. That's what you need right now is a non-copium based thoughts. Carla says, you sounded like one of the autists from Love on the Spectrum. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but okay, thank you. Yes, Sneed Shrugged says, the fire rises, Sean. Yes, it does. Yes. Yes, they lied. New York is gay and retarded. None of that is something I would disagree with. I fully support you guys in all of that. This was a disgrace, but you know what? It's done. We can't do anything about it now. We got to, keep going from here. What was the voice you did? Okay. So, what's the next step? Well, Trump can still run for president. Even if he gets sent to prison, he can still run for president. Eugene Debs ran on the socialist platform in 1920, got 1 million votes while in prison. Is Trump going to prison? I don't think so. I think that would be literally fucking retarded. If a similar person was in the situation, what would happen if their name wasn't Trump? Yeah. I think that's something to think about there. So, yeah. So, they'll rig the election anyways. Well, we'll see about that. The convict president sounds metal as fuck. Yes. Hold on, chat. I gotta go. I suddenly got spooked up by something. Give me 1 second. And we're back. Sorry about that. No, the feds aren't here. And hold on, chat. We're good. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Make sure we're good. All right. Nico says, "Don't go, Sean. The call's coming from inside the shower." Yes, thank you. Thank you for warning me. Thank you for warning me. Thank you. Franco is saying, "Did McCann really split the jury into 3 groups for deliberation?" I don't know if that's true. If he did, that's an immediate grounds for an appeal and reversal. You can't do that. No, from what I understand, they're arguing like I don't like I said, I don't think that there's no way that could happen. You can't do that. You can't split the jury up that way. So I know people. There's all kinds of stories and shit out there. Just absent that, anything else you're going to hear, it's like he got convicted, so we got to deal with it. Yes, 45 minutes later, you still see a speck. You got white all over your beard. You caught me. You caught me, Chad. Hold on. Is that all it's going to take? I wish I could do something where it would just turn black all of a sudden if I start scratching it. That would be freaking Kino. Yes, I'm eating Bolivian donuts. So, yeah. So just like I said, guys, just calm down. Unidentifiable says it feels like we're in that "what are you going to do about it" stage of politics. We're getting there. We're getting there. Are we there yet? I'm not going to tell you we are. I'm not going to tell you we are. I mean, when it's time, and you'll know when it's time. And this is not the time, is what I'm going to say. So, yes. Johan say, "Can we hit the goal?" Yes. Chad, if we make the goal, we do the boogaloo. But really getting back to this unidentifiable, I mean, we're almost there. I mean, like we're at the boiling point, but we're not. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. Like I said, when it happens, you'll know it happens, and I hope to God it never happens. I hope to God we can right the ship, because if that happens, it's not good. So, yeah, Shree, this is what you're saying. Yeah, from what I understand, he said they didn't have to be unanimous on the actual crime he committed that he was covering up, which I think is really fucking weird. But hey, we'll see if that works there in New York City on appeal. So, oh well. Samuel Hartman saying, "I take it we're not getting that 5K locals gift." Probably not. Probably not. Kaz saying the tree must be watered. Yes, everybody, you say you want to do that, but everybody wants to be. Everybody thinks they want to be a gangster. So, Just Cause says yes. Michael Cohen said he didn't. Trump didn't tell him to do it. He did to pocket the money. Yep. And there's a lot of things I think Trump can appeal on, but for right now, none of that's working. So that's it. That's all you can do about it. Cope and Sneed is all I can say at this moment. Otto says, "Sean, we're hungry." Well, you're hungry. You're in the nation of the Hungarians, or you're hungry like your tummy rumbles. So, if you want to learn how to use our radio, find like-minded people, spend time with them, build networks, and train and do things. Read books. I'm not saying you should read like Fry the Brain, Guerrilla Sniping in an Urban Environment, or other things like that, or learning, different things that are out there. But do that, and meet people. So that's my recommendation if you want to do something. But yes, Trump is finished. I'm sure people are dancing in the streets over him. Can the sentencing be delayed until appeals? That's always something that's possible. I don't know how it's going to work. And it's possible in New York, but I don't know if the judge is going to grant it. James Olin says the Rangers handbook. Yes. Well, if you're going to do that, just get Field Manual 7-8. Learn all 8 immediate action drills. Those are, you learn those, you're way ahead of the curve. So the Ranger handbook, yep, or FM U.S. Army FM 7-8. Never a bad look. So that's what happened there. Now, in some other news, and this one's a little, I think, a little funnier. Well, actually, it's more of a ironic in the Alanis Morissette vein, but still in New York. And this really dovetails off of what's going on with Trump. Yeah, how many miles can you rucksack right now? Not very far. You used to be able to do that kind of stuff, but it's still work on getting in shape. To work on getting in shape. Say hello to people. Say hello to your neighbors. All that kind of fun stuff. People are like, oh, I want to go do this. Like, do you know who your neighbors are? Can you talk to all your neighbors? If your chainsaw broke, could you, knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, you got a chain I could borrow? Or, hey, do you have a longer bar I could borrow for my chainsaw? All that kind of stuff you need to be able to do before you get the idea you're going to become like the warlord of your like neighborhood. So it's just, touch grass and socialize. The stuff people used to do back in the day. Trump's sentencing is July 11th. So, yeah, it's like I said, guys, we'll have to see what happens, but just chill. Just chill for now. Mutually asserts that appeals are for losers. Well, Trump lost, so he's got to do it. There's no other option. The governor's not going to pardon him, so you're left with what you're left with. And he got done dirty at trial, but nothing to do now. What if he didn't appeal the verdict? That would be really fucking stupid. That would be really, really stupid. What could the sentence be? Well, anywhere from, probation up to like 30 years in prison. So we'll see. Bush is saying, I told you this entire trial has been a farce. I don't think anybody who honestly looked at this thought he was going to get acquitted or get a hung jury. He was going to get convicted. They don't follow the Constitution there. Well, you try him in a lot of places in America, he's probably going to get convicted, but that's because juries are easily manipulated. Two of you just asked this question, and I'm going to. You guys are asking, can he pardon himself once he becomes president? No, he can't. The president can pardon for federal crimes. That's where his pardon power ends. The president has no authority over things done by the states because he's not the executive over the states. The governor has power over state level offenses. Or if you're in some states, there's like a pardon board. So like Texas, when Daniel Perry got pardoned, we covered that. The Texas Pardon Board told the governor, yes, we approve him getting a pardon. In New York, the governor can pardon anybody Kathy Hochul wants to do. She's the governor. She can do that. But she's not going to pardon Trump. So, no, he can't pardon himself for this crime because he can do, like, he can write out, like, well, I, Donald Trump, hereby pardon myself because I pardon myself all crimes, the best crimes. Only nothing but crimes you all know. Out of the state of New York, boom, and sign it. And literally it would have no effect because he's not in charge of New York. So, he could do it, but it won't work. So in reality, he can't, if that's what you're going for. Anything for Selena saying, what if we just want to cope and sneed? Well, you can do that. Cope and sneed at your leisure. Life's too short to cope and sneed too much. You got to be careful about it. Is Trump going to bring his free Slurpee to his sentencing? That would be fun. He's just sitting there just like Just chugging on a Slurpee as he goes. What if one of the jurors spilled the beans and says it was rigged? Well, that's a separate issue, but I mean, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not trying to make fun of you here, but that's like saying, like, what if a bunch of Chinese paratroopers like came out of the sky and hit New York City? Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting too. That's not going to happen. I mean, as I heard as a young man, if we're a fifth, we'd all be fucked up by now. So nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change there. Mackenzie says he violated a gag order like 10 plus times. The judge didn't lock him up. He's not going to jail or prison. See, I'd actually be careful about that because that shows aggravating factors of will you follow rules on probation. And the judge might also be just a vindictive asshole and smack him for a couple of days, just say booyah. But the judge was actually I think the judge also realized he could be an asshole and infringe on things to an extent, because if he went too far, well, now he's running into, if I put him in jail, now I look like that asshole everybody claims I am, and I vindicate them. And that might, so he had to walk a very fine line. Trump was smart enough. I think he could call Merkett's bluff. But that's, that's a both men were playing a dangerous game of chicken. Both men played a dangerous game of chicken. And after a while, it seemed like they reached a bit of a détente. They both kind of chilled. Trump chilled out, Mercant chilled out. But now it's over. Trump can talk all the shit he wants. If he becomes governor of New York State, he can pardon himself. Well, yeah, but he's not going to become governor. He's not running for governor. Can the governor pardon him? Yes, but Kathy Hochul is a Democrat. She would never pardon Trump. Ag says, wait, this was a state case? Yes. This was the people of the state of New York versus Donald John Trump. This was Alvin Bragg's office, the Manhattan DA's office. This wasn't Southern District of New York. Remember, he's got 2 state cases, 2 federal cases. He had the New York case and the Georgia RICO case with Fannie and the gang. Then he's got Jack Smith's cases. He's got the Florida Mar-a-Lago document case, and then he's got the January 6th case. So he's got 2 federal cases and now only 1 pending state case. Bragg rhymes with, well, yes. Yes, he does. Alvin Bragg with the help of a former Biden DOJ official, yes, who keeps following him around, who keeps following Trump around, sealing deals. It's interesting. Yes, Selena says, hi, Jesus, can you pick us up? The earth is being ghetto. Nick says the Georgia RICO case still could technically be upgraded to federal court. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't qualify for like the DOJ trying a RICO case, and the federal court's already denied Mark Meadows and the gang their chance to go, so it's gonna stay in Georgia. I mean, yeah, there's always like some little like it's just like Nick's case. Is he gonna win on a? Is he gonna get his warrant thrown out? I bet there's like a 0.1% chance of that happening, which means it's 99.9% sure it's gonna be okay. But yes, Nick, how are you doing, by the way? Nick Starro Trial Watch. I know you were. Are you still in America? Because I know you were making your travels through the great state or the great states of America. I hope your journey was wonderful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you've already made it back, I hope you had a safe travel. If you're still here, keep enjoying it. Keep enjoying it. If I was Trump and I win the election, I clear martial law on day 1. Well, I don't think that would go the way we think it would go. So I wouldn't do that yet. There's things that can do. That long play that. Oh, you're in August where you're coming to America. Oh, I thought you were already here. I know Baker was roaming around, so. Stabby saying, legit question on the exculpatory fact on the Trump case. Weren't checks cut to Cohen in 2017 after the election? Yeah, but there was like in the lead up to the election, they were telling, they're trying to work with Stormy to shut her whore mouth. So that's kind of where that all came from. Like the whole process of getting it done was in 2016. So that's why. That's why. I hope that answers your question there. Imagine only being able to visit America. That would suck. Well, at least you get to visit. Nick saying Houston, August 7th, New Orleans, Atlanta, going to Hot Atlanta. Knoxville, Delphi, Indiana. Yes, for Richard Allen, then Detroit. Flying home the 24th. Whew, well, you got to make it out of Detroit, Nick. So, like, take care, my friend. Go with God. Go with God. Getting out of Detroit. Gordon says, can the future SCOTUS immunity decision reverse this? No, because he wasn't. He wasn't in office at the time, so it won't work that way. If he was in office and this was him running for re-election, maybe. But remember, even during the immunity arguments, Trump's team admitted like we're ceding ground that a bunch of his actions were private actions and not official presidential actions. So I don't know where this would fall at that point. So even if that happened, they could say, "Well, we give up this one." But in reality, no, because it's him as a private individual. He was not president in 2016. The drip came down and made me cough. Jesus. Oof. Oof. So I hope that answers your question. I hope that answered the question there. That's not actually a bad question, though. Let's see here. Marv Hoond is saying pee pee poo poo. Truer words have never been spoken. Rock Music Man 21 says if Nick and Aaron didn't post anything to the internet, well, the cops have still gotten the warrant. As I told Sitch and Adam when I had time to think about it, nope. Had Aaron not talked and Nick not done what he did, there wouldn't be enough probable cause. There would be enough cause for Children's Services to come and and some lady holding a clipboard be like, "Hi, my name's Karen. I'm from Children's Services. Here to do a home visit, check on the kids. How are you guys doing?" That would happen, but that's about it. So don't film yourself committing crimes. It's smart strategy. Arson investigator is saying, Sean is a new blogger flogger. Thank you. Warville 9999. Are you like the 9 or you are like you like German? I'm not sure. I don't know how much of Rekieta's audience has listened to Love Line with Dr. Drew or watched Celebrity Rehab, but eventually most addicts die of their addiction. At what point should we get worried? Well, for Nick's, well-being, you should be worried. And I hope he stops. I hope he realizes he's on the wrong path, that he finds, basically finds Jesus or whatever equivalent he wants to, Allah or whatever, and stops and realize what he's done, the wickedness that he's waged and the problems he's caused and the hurt he's created and what he's done to himself and his family and community. I mean, yeah, but it's up to him, and all you can do is stand there and go about your day, and then eventually if he turns it around, you say, "Okay, cool, welcome back." But until then, what's there to support? Nothing. Unholy Hero says, "Have Thai beer phone notarize my signature. What could go wrong?" Yeah, we're not doing that. Oh, you guys were like just behind each other. Automata says, "What about notarizing over the phone, Sean? Sean, don't notarize signatures over the phone." Arson investigator for $49.99. Thank you. Says, I have to notarize my signature for licensing in 4 states, and I've had to notarize copies of my driver's license, but I don't do booger sugar. That's always a good idea, not to do booger sugar. It's always a good idea. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to catch up on these last ones here. These last couple of super chats real quick. Anonymous says, well, if I take your orange off, would you die? It would be very painful. You're a big president for you. And me mentioned, yes, there's an active shooter in the Twin Cities. Yes. Nick, no, Nick, Jim does not live there. No, Nick, no. Okay. All right, guys, we need to move on. We need to move on to the next thing here. And this one is actually pretty hilarious. So, a New York politician is claiming that the rapes, the Me Too law that was passed, allowing people to bring lawsuits against him, was unconstitutional despite voting for the legislation. Isn't that ironic? So, a member of the New York Senate claims the law allowing a rape suit to move forward was unconstitutional, even though he voted it and bragged about it. So, in court records filed this month, Kevin Parker denied the rape allegations against him, but also claimed that the Adult Survivors Act, the thing that E. Jean Carroll sued Donald Trump with, it's funny how that worked, allowed the lawsuit to proceed against him. Well, there you go. Yes. Shocked Pikachu face. Wait, they can use this against me now? Oh, no. Yes. Cope and Sneed, Senator. Cope and Sneed. So he was accused of doing this attack in November of 2023 in a claim that made it just under the wire. Yep. Just like P. Diddy's claims that happened to him. Well, now just like Donald Trump's claims by E. Jean Carroll. Yeah. And yes, he, along with every other member of the state Senate, voted for this legislation in 2021. He even touted his support for the law, in which he denied the rape charges against him. It's like, why would you do that? But you love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see somebody fuck them, grown man fucks himself. So, something to think about, chat. Something to think about. Something to think about. Hold on 1 second here. All right, chat, we are back. Sorry. We're going to keep moving. And this one I thought was funny. In Taiwan, a guy in their parliament figured out kind of how to hack the Matrix and how to hack democracy. So if you guys have ever seen Schoolhouse Rock, I'm just a bill. You know that song. Well, in Taiwan, a guy... So in Taiwan, this is a member of parliament, and this is a parliamentary system. He runs up and he grabbed the legislation, and he runs out the front door, which can't put on a bill if they don't have it, like Galaxy Brained.
台湾来紧紧抱着资料不放手，还一度跌在椅子上，两人来回拉扯，最后郭国文使尽全力抢下文件，以堪比美式足球员的速度
NFL folks, look at him.
台湾来紧
He
紧抱着资
protected
料
that.
不放
Look
手，
at
还
him. Look at him. He gets through there. Just he gets his head down and tucks it in, running. God, the Browns need to get a hold of this guy for the fall.
一度跌在椅子上，
Look
两
at
人
him.
来
Look
回
at
拉
him.
扯，最
Boom,
后郭国
boom.
文使尽
Juke, bob, weave, man. Homie was hitting all the buttons there. Most valuable player for Madden 2025.
全力抢下文件，以堪比美式足球员的速度冲出一场。
Yeah, and now he's gone. So If you want to win, that's a way to handle it. Yes, the bill got passed. I know that's the problem here. Like that is such a that's the funny part of this. Like people get so wrapped up in things, and this actually is a very good example of take a deep breath. Don't like re-out too hard. Because all they do is print it out. Like they actually, it's not like you steal it and they go, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do now, chat?" Well, chat, but like, all right, Parliament. Well, the bill's gone. Does anybody have a printer? Nope, that was the only one. We used the good paper for that, like the good stuff. We can't do it anymore. Das Boot says, did he throw it on the ground? I don't know. Chitty says he's dead now. Really? Did he die? Oof. God, the Taiwanese government doesn't fuck around, I guess. You know, I mean, there's like 3 testosterone in that whole room. Well. Oh. Yes, most valuable parliamentarian. Yes. -5 on your social credit score. Brad says we needed him on January 6th. Yeah, he runs up and steals the electoral college paperwork. Runs out the door and he's gone. Even the Capitol Police couldn't stop him. He's already got a mask on, so you can't identify him. You know, yes, if only. Yes, Zaven saying QB with legs on that bootleg. Yes, stiff arming like a motherfucker. Yes, Isaac, you're right. Jeff, yes. Got that Heisman going. He's got that Heisman going. That Heisman just boom right in people's faces. That's how you got to do it. Yes, this was a bill to make anime legal. So sadly it passed, chat. Sadly it passed. That's probably what this was about. Anime is now illegal. Cope and, I guess I have to cope and Sneed. Although if anime is now legal, China, please invade. I will support you now. Launch the invasion boats. Oh. Yes, that's a autism right there. Would you eat the bill? I mean, you could do it. You could do it. Maybe. I mean, it might work. It might. It might just work. I don't know, though. Ken says, yes, that was 150-pound paper. It was too expensive. We're fucked now. Yes. Yes, this is how you get 4 stars and play National Treasure. Oh. And Chili de Castro stole their printer. You see, that's what you'd have to do. You'd have to steal the printer at the same time. This is going to be like you'd have to do like an Ocean's 11. It'd be like Ocean's 11. Although, can it be like Ocean's 11 style heist? I mean, I just don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. It would take a lot of work. Autism with Sean, if you ever want to rename your channel. Well, if you're here more than 5 minutes and you haven't figured that out, I don't know what to tell you. Yes. +10 on agility, -5 on social credit. Yes. Yes. The real yellow Flash. Yeah. Sorry, Flash. We found the real one. I'll have to bring that up to him. That Saturday, I should be on with him. He asked me if I come on. What was the bill for? I don't know. We talk about Assange yet? Nope. We're almost there. Yes. Am I the anime law tuber? According to Robert Barnes, I am the anime guy. So, yes. Vespa Live Gaming saying it's the hentai bill. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So scary. So scary. It's an anime foamer law. Finally, somebody's thinking about me out there. They're thinking about me. My lobbying paid off. So, on K Street, more like KKK Street. Oh. Scarebro is saying these people really think they can undo all this erosion of the faith normies have in the system. Yeah, I mean, there's that issue too. There's that issue. Walter Malone is saying there's special rules when the president gets 34 guilty verdicts. Google Trump Rule 34. Please don't Google that, especially not on a work computer, guys. Don't Google that on your work computers. Gordon says, because then your next thing will be super chatting me saying, Sean, I just got fired. Please say a prayer for me. I'd rather you not do that. Gordon says, I actually talked about this. Can a future immunity decision reverse Trump's thing? Nope. Baseball Worldwide says number one piece of advice on getting through law school. Assume you're the dumbest person in the room. Because everybody there, even if you think they're stupid, was smart enough to do well enough on the LSAT and was probably pretty good on their grades. Okay? So assume everybody there is pretty smart. And when you study, make outlines, because I didn't do that when I was an undergrad. I didn't have to do that. I was the guy who, like, I'd flip through my notebook like an hour before class and I'd take a final and ace it. You can't do that in law school. Learn how to make outlines. Learn how to, like, take your outline, break it down into a stack of index cards for each class. And then if you're going part-time, make sure you take time off to study in the lead up to your finals. I mean, it's probably going to hurt you, but I had to do it that way too. I worked all year. I saved up all my vacation days for finals. You know, don't work the night before a final. Stuff like that. I had to learn that the first semester. And I would also encourage you to get Microsoft OneNote. Think of it as like Word, but it's also like Excel together. You can draw and write on it and have arrows and like it's like a big whiteboard. And you could take really killer notes on it. If you have any questions, email me down below, potentiallycriminal@gmail.com, and I'll talk to you about it too if you have any other questions. But yeah, that's the biggest one. That's the biggest advice I can give you. Unidentifiable says, how worried are you about a potential false flag / January 6th thing in the near future? Oh, I'm 100% worried some shit like that's going to happen, especially like right now. That's why I'm telling everybody, just, it's not gas, gas, gas. It's like break, break, break. Okay? Nick Starro for, oh my God. Ooh. Oh, God. I got to appreciate this. Okay. Now, yes, chat. Now, if folks really want to see a Nick commenting law on YouTube, there is an alternative. He is sober for at least 60% of his streams. Yes. Yes, he's sober and he doesn't do coke. But Nick Starro, yes, is another Nick you can rely upon. Damn, Nick, that's a good one. Thank you, Nick. Johan Naxis is saying, buy a Sean for your Sean. It's too many Seans. IKEA shuttle service is saying, Lakea's, is it Lakea? If I butcher that, I'm sorry. Tell me. Is it Lakea? Shuttle service says, Sean, for some reasons, I can't attach a video, so I said it before and super chatted you this. Please find it and play it. It's a hilarious law video. You said a video before. Did you email it to me? Let me see if I could find something here. Let me see if it's in my emails. Let me see here. I'm not sure if you sent it. If you sent it to me, potentiallycriminal@gmail.com. Should be down below in the description. Send it there. I will take a look at it and we can watch it. So, yeah, please send it there. Please send it there. I don't see anything in my emails right now. And I'm just going to double check one more thing here. Home mail, le spam. Nope, I don't see anything. So please send it. Please send it. Also, I want to see if you Let me see here. Correction 101 saying, "Oh, practice IRAC analysis as much as possible outside your regular assignments." That's not a bad idea too. That's not a bad idea as well. But you'll really get the hang of that. You'll really get the hang of that. But I would say be careful because there's the cases that they're going to use in school are a little easier to break down that way. That's why they pick them. So be careful. You might pick ones and you're like, "Oh no, what do I do?" Okay, so where are we at with all that? Um, sorry guys, I was trying to catch up on some of these super chats here. And then Malcolm X, that's a great one. Kayla told the police April was their living nanny. Could this make her a caretaker of the children under Minnesota law? If so, could she then be charged with child endangering like Rekieta? Yes, she could. The problem is Nick said no, she's not. So now you've got an issue of conflicting statements. Is there reasonable doubt now? I would argue yes. I mean, you'd basically have to bring the kids in to say, like, they probably say, like, no, she didn't do it. It was the guy who acted like a woman. And they'd be referring to Aaron. So, no, that wouldn't be a good idea. I don't think that will get you anywhere if you're trying to prosecute. It's really not worth it to go after April. You got Nick and Kayla dead to rights. So, and allegedly, Kayla might be snitching out everybody. We'll see. But I would not do it that way. I would not do it that way. So, that's just kind of how I look at it. Now, moving on. Julian Assange. You guys remember we talked about him and his ongoing struggles in the UK. The founder of WikiLeaks, the conduit for Bradley Manning or Chelsea Manning or whatever you want to call him, leaking information to him, publishing all of the diplomatic cables and all kinds of Western intelligence and military related and governmental documents. Well, he's been in an English prison now for quite a while, multiple years. And before that, he spent multiple years hiding in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, trying to avoid charges out of Sweden, which miraculously turned out to be bullshit. And then spending time now in jail because he skipped out on bond in the UK. Well, now he's got some good news. So the UK high courts are allowing him to appeal his extradition to the United States. So initially, the courts were allowing him to get extradited. Assange is appealing that, and he's appealing that on a multiple grounds. And basically, the grounds are you can't trust the fucking federal government, which, you know what? Like, you can't. You can't trust the goddamn government. I mean, that's how this goes. You can't trust them at all. So let me see here. Where are um Max? You're saying I skipped a couple super chats. I didn't get to everybody's super chats yet. I'm trying to work through them, but otherwise we spend like 30 minutes going through super chats, and I don't think that's fair to everybody. We got some story. We'll work through the stories as we go here. This one's an actually very important one I want to make sure we get to. So Assange has been fighting his extradition under multiple grounds. And if you guys, especially in London, in Britain, he is out there. He should be freed. What he did was not a crime. I mean, really, fuck the US government and the intelligence community for what they've done. I don't really trust those guys to be on the up and up. And there's multiple problems with this case. We found that out now. There's multiple things. Like one of the FBI's informants is a guy who peddles child pornography that the FBI ran cover for multiple years. So that's, surprised the FBI did that, but it's the FBI. So he's appealing his charges on espionage. And now the charges are Not that he had access to the material Bradley Manning gave to him, but it's that he solicited Bradley Manning to give him those materials. So if I get a hold of, as a journalist, classified documents, show up in my mailbox or show up on my door or show up in an email, unasked for, unannounced, that's not illegal for me to possess them. It's illegal for me to find somebody and run into them or contact them and say, hey, I hear you have access to all kinds of secret stuff. Can you help me out, bro? Give me a little taste. Let me wet my beak on that. What can you get me? If you help me, I'll pay you. Or just if you help me, I'll give you credit. Or just soliciting it in general. You are not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to actively solicit people to go break the law like that. That's why he's getting the espionage charges. And that's the thing. He's accused of orchestrating one of the biggest leaks of classified info. Now, here's the problem. He faces life in prison if he's convicted of all these charges, although technically with espionage and treason, they might argue he gets a death penalty, especially on a treason charge if they charge him with treason. And the problem is the U.S. government has said, well, we promise not to, and nobody believes the U.S. government anymore. So Assange has got some issues there. So the courts have said he could appeal his extradition if the U.S. government didn't give assurances about his First Amendment protections and that he wouldn't get the death penalty. Now, Assange has a lot of arguments he can make under the First Amendment, that he's a reporter, he's a journalist, the right to press, the right to speech. Well, there are times where the government has argued against people who have done leaks and said you're not entitled to that, and like motions in limine or things like that, and they oppose it, and then that person gets shipped off and screwed in the federal prison system. And the U.S. government has duped and tricked multiple countries and saying, yeah, hey, Spain, we'll do that. And then Spain says, okay, here you go. And then the U.S. government fucks him over. That happens. So the U.S. government has earned its reputation. So, and this is from a little while ago. This has actually occurred on May 20th. So about 10 days ago. So Assange's lawyers said the overtures made by the U.S. were blatantly inadequate. Now, what did they say? The U.S. didn't give good assurances he wouldn't receive the death penalty. They said, you know what, we're okay, we believe him on that, but there's issues regarding the First Amendment. And yes, he's facing 18 criminal counts under the Espionage Act, as well as conspiracy to commit computer intrusion, which is what Bradley Manning did. When we talked about WikiLeaks, his publication of the diplomatic cables, yep. And also Collateral Murder, the 2007 hit of that Apache gunship just blowing away all those Iraqi dudes who it appears some of them may have been armed, some of them may have been not. We're not 100% sure. And then they shot up the truck coming to haul a couple of wounded ones away. Yeah, like I said, whether or not it was cleared, and even though the U.S. Army cleared anybody of wrongdoing, well, why did we cover that up? Why was that classified? Why couldn't anybody see that? Makes you wonder. So Assange has argued that his leaks are protected by the First Amendment. So prosecutors have argued his actions endangered agents' lives. Yeah, okay. But anyways, he was arrested in 2019. He's been in jail, guys, for almost 5 years after leaving London's Ecuadorian embassy after a 7-year stay there. He's been in a prison for 5 years. And, it's breaking him mentally. His legal team, his wife have all commented he is getting destroyed in there. But he's apparently fighting back. He's fighting back, keeping his sanity. And we covered this a couple weeks ago. President Biden was considering Australia's request for the U.S. to drop the charges and let him get charged with some bullshit crime in Australia, because Julian Assange is an Australian citizen. Earlier this year, the Australian government approved a motion allowing him to return to Australia. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So it's going to be a long, long process here for Assange. It's going to be a long time coming. We don't know what's going to happen. So why isn't Obama in jail? Because Keystone Pirate says, no, don't bring us Apache troopers into this. Well, I mean, it was an Apache gunship that did all the footage. Was just like boop, 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 and just with a 30 millimeter cannon. So, Barnes would argue First Amendment here too. Yes, but I agree with Barnes. This is a First Amendment issue about Assange, and all those things about government corruption and all of that. I actually agree with it here. Here, I would agree with it. This is where it's valid. Not everywhere else. So very funny. I understood that joke. Keystone Pirate says, we had so much kickback after lots of protests. Yeah, well, it just looked bad. I mean, whether or not it was legal is a whole nother issue, but it looked bad. And then the government covering it up doesn't make it any better. So we will find out, but this is going to be a long, long run for Assange. It's going to take a while because now he's getting the chance to fully challenge extradition. I got mail. Sent me an Instagram link. Okay, good. Hopefully a couple people. Okay. Oh, yes. Rekieta. I think that's how or Leica. I apologize if I'm not doing your name right. I am so sorry. We are going to get to that video you sent me. So you're not, trust me, we're definitely getting to that. We'll probably end on that because it's so funny. Max Mercer says the Duran shouldn't invite Barnes on their streams. Oh, I know. I should go on the Duran streams. I love Alexander Mercouris and Alex Cristoforo. But yes, they instead, they settle for Barnes. But hey, get what you pay for. All right, here, real quick, guys. You guys are saying, somebody said Obama pardoned Chelsea Manning. No, he gave him clemency, and then he eventually pardoned him. He commuted his sentence and then pardoned him. So, yeah, Barnes never lies. Yes. So, a couple more super chats, real quick, so we can catch up on here. Palmyra Production says, Sean, can you notarize this because of reasons? Is that supposed to be like a pile of Coke? I can't notarize that. It wouldn't work. Anything for Selena says, I'm a proud lurker. Don't share your business. Bork, bork. Yes. Scarecrow says, if you think my kids ever went hungry or were busted, Minecraft yourself. No repudiation of claim, but trying to shame people. Classic Nick gaslighting. Yeah. Well, I think that, and I'm not going to kill him. I'm not going to Roblox myself. So, as I would say, cope and sneed or suffer, Nick, suffer. Dan says, send Bobs. Lol. I don't think that's a laughing matter, sir. If you want people to send Bobs, you can do that. It's not a laughing matter, sir. Not at all. Liam FM says, potentially criminal. Potentially criminal. Potentially a dick sucker. I mean, were you screaming this in the mirror? Because otherwise, I think you're a little bit off base with the last part. Maybe you need to talk to someone. Drama Nut says, anime rules, hope it succeed. Yeah, you're malding, I can tell. Polyfrog says, I'm just curious, where did you see the pictures of Nick's house and are they real? They're real. The source that gave them to me, and I seen them, show there are people in the picture that we recognize and know. So that tells me they're real. You could also go online to the Zillow listing and the pictures match up with some of the views that were taken. So yes, that appears to be their home. And I'm curious about the condition of the home. I mean, not good. Not good. Not good. Corrections 101. I didn't get to say this earlier, but yes, good to see you, man. It's been a little while. Hope you're doing well. And guys, if you ever want to see somebody who does some video commentary as from their experience as a corrections officer. It's a good channel to look at. Good channel to look at. All cops are terrorists. ACAT, which I think is better than ACAB. Thoughts on the ridiculous LP nominee? Yeah, the Libertarian Party is a joke of itself, and that's what it'll only be ever. Trump was right. You guys want 3% every year? Keep doing this, or you come with me. So the libertarians, yeah. And the funny thing is, real libertarians, the Libertarian Party of today would scream at Milton Friedman and call him a Nazi. They would consider F.A. Hayek, a bad guy. Or Brandon Herrera losing his runoff by 600 votes. I hope a recount can be triggered, but hey, he did pretty damn good for a guy, running that way. And hopefully he runs again and unseats Tony Gonzalez next time. Ariel says, I made outlines in law school and then didn't know what to do with them. Well, like I said, I took my outline and then I broke it down into note cards and I wrote it on a note card. And then I just started reading my note cards. And I did that because I was working nights at my night job, but I had time to read them and just start flipping through them. And it makes it a little more digestible. Like it's a tedious task, but instead of trying to read a whole page of notes, it gets daunting. Now you're just like one card at a time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. And you start knowing them. And after a while, you get to the point you're like, oh my God, I don't want to read these. I'm bored. I already know what they all say. Cool. That's where you want to be. So that's what I did with the note cards. Now, some of you might say that's a retarded way to study. Well, I'm a retard. So guess what? It worked. Gutty Bruin says, what recourse does Trump have towards his BS prosecution? Appeal. That's all he can do. That's all he can do to appeal. Hope Alvin Bragg finds Jesus and says, oh my God, like, save me. I was wrong. We made this all up. But that's not going to happen either. So it's an appeal. That's all he's got left. In the court of public opinion. Lakea's shuttle service says it's in the chat. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see it. It's hard to find them when I'm using StreamYard and you guys put stuff in the chat. And that's the thing. Sounding Six is correct. He's got a lot of things he can appeal. A lot of things. Abel says, Sean, yes, you streaming and covering the Rackets trial, you will get you to afford to buy his house. I mean, if he goes all the way, yes. Yes, if he goes all the way, we'll see. So, Mickey Bitso saying the NY Court of Appeals is 7 black women. Yeah, but that, we'll see. We'll see what he gets. I mean, the NRA just won 9-0 in the Supreme Court against the state of New York. So there you go. Just something to think about. Something to think about. Mavka saying, how can he be charged with treason if he's an American? I don't know. But yes, they were seeking possibly the death penalty against him. I'm not sure how they would do it, but they're the government. They'll figure out a way. In all honesty, guys, I am surprised that Assange was never assassinated or like a drone strike over London with like a small diameter bomb or a smaller explosive thing hitting the embassy and just killing him. Like, oh, there's a gas line. Oops. I'm really surprised that never happened. Like, I guarantee you Hillary and Obama were thinking, like, I don't think that's a joke. There's like the stories of Hillary saying, can't we just drone strike this guy? I totally think that was something that was going to happen. So, Anna just tweeted at me. Cool. Have fun with that, Anna. Baseball Worldwide is saying, can you describe the content of the pictures or would you rather not say? If I describe them, it's probably going to out where they came from because what's in them is probably can be traced, because they're taken and the people who took them probably have an idea who got those pictures. They would trace right back to them, and I don't want to do that to them. So even when I see the body cam and I see the pictures, I'll compare them and say, "Oh yeah, I got this. Yep." But I'm never going to show them. I'm never going to show them. If that person wants to air it out, I'll let them air it out, but I'm not going to do it for them. Unlike Nick, when somebody like if you're a John out there and you come to me in confidence, I keep confidence. And if you're allowing, and if you say, "Hey, I'm coming to you with information," okay, cool. Can I talk to anybody about this? And they say, "You can talk about this little bit of it. Feel free to share." I'll share. But if you tell me, "Nope, don't share," guess what? I don't share. That's holding confidence and holding confidentiality. So, just saying, that's how it works. That's how it works. That's how it works at That's how it works here at Martin and Martin LLC. Ariel says, "I have an important opinion." And Zargon says, "What do you want us to break?" Ariel, who did graduate from law school recently, says, "Meet with your professors and listen to them when they tell you what they expect on your finals." Yes. And I would suggest meet with your professors so they know your face and they know who you are. You're not just some random person on a chart. Because if it comes down to like giving you like an extra point and bumping you up a grade, that helps. It's hard to turn down somebody you know. It gives you that little bit of an edge. It's all psychological, but do it. Also, read your shit and be ready for the cold calls. Darcy says, "Look at our Nevada judges when you have free time. A couple of lawyers and a cop instructor are talking about chilling his case." I will. I wonder if they're going to disagree with me because I think some things happen that I don't think were fair to Chili, but we'll see. But thank you, Darcy. And Rowan says, "It's too late, Sean. I already rented the Ryder truck." Well, I guess Godspeed. Godspeed to you, man. Godspeed to you. Okay, I just emailed to you. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Anything for Selena says, don't start at nothing, won't be nothing, says Assange. Yeah. Oh, all right. So, guys, we need to move on. We got other stuff to cover here. And this is one that happened a while back, and I'm a little surprised it didn't get anywhere more traction-wise. I know a lot of people were thinking, "Oh, this is a false flag" when it happened. And if you guys remember this thing here, and this is from a while back when the crazy guy crashed the barricades at the White House with his U-Haul truck. Now I know a lot of you are thinking, "Be still my beating heart. Something I want to be that man." You know, he lived where we dared not to dream. Well, this happened back in May of last year. And if you guys don't remember where this was on the edge of Lafayette Square. And if you guys have never seen Lafayette Square, God, I'm such a tonight. This is Lafayette Square right here. This is right across the street from the White House. And this guy who Sai Varsith, who thought he was going to bring in thought he was basically going to usher in a revolution as it was going to happen and take care of this. Jumped out of the truck with a swastika. And no, I'm not joking. He jumped out with a. This is his truck, and he got arrested as soon as this happened. He jumped out with a swastika, and some of you might be thinking, like, "Well, what does this guy look like?" And that's him. So yes, the Aryan face of white supremacy, the true Aryan face. So anyways, yes, he oh yeah, it's just great how this all happens to people. But He was sentenced recently. He pled out. He pled guilty to trying to breach the White House, and I just remember when this happened, people were all panicking, and he has not been sentenced yet, but he's looking at a lot of time. And according to the DOJ, and as much as I think the DOJ are scumbags, we can read from their thing. He was guilty in his attempted attack on the White House. And he pled guilty to a charge of willful injury or depredation of property of the United States. Huh. He tries to ram the White House with a truck to cause problems. I'm pretty sure that the January 6th people got charged with more severe things. Yeah, they did. They did. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny, chat? That's so funny and weird. So anyway, he tried to strike the barricades at the White House and President's Park at 9:35 in the evening, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't get through. He got stopped literally by one of these guys, which these are actually designed with stopping ramming attacks in mind. These are highly engineered. They're going to be multiple supports. The way this is all set up is an indicator to you this is actually a properly set up fortification. And that's what these things are meant to do. Just like those big flower boxes you see in front of places, they're meant to stop, car bombs and ramming attacks. So as soon as he got out of the truck, he removed his 3x5 foot red and white banner with a Nazi swastika in the center. We would also call that a Nazi flag. Yes. So his actions caused horribly. Oh, yes. So he admitted that he would have arranged for the killing of President Biden and others if necessary to achieve his objective. He wanted to replace a democratic elected government with a dictatorship fueled by the ideology of Nazi Germany, and for himself to be put in charge of the United States. Yes, our Indian Reichsobergruppenführer. I'm not sure how that would work. I'm really not sure how that would work. But you know what? He came up with a plan and he worked his plan. He tried. He tried. Yes, New Frequency says lol. Yes. And Abel says his blog called it a banner. Yes, I know. And Franco says, to be fair, they call the appeal to heaven flag a Nazi banner too. Yes, they do. They do. Danny says, how deep are those planted? Oh, those are part of steel posts that are multiple feet in the ground, in multiple feet of concrete. You're not going to be able to. You would need a tank probably to hit those out of the way. And even then, probably not. Really, to clear one of those, you would need engineers to come in and do explosives work, demolition work to clear those out, breaching charges, C4, cutting charges, things like that. It's meant to withstand serious attack. Those Ballards do nothing against killdozers. Not those. These types of Ballards probably would stop a bulldozer, or at least slow it down enough that I'm sure the Secret Service has access to anti-tank weapons and armor defeat systems. So, the Secret Service headquarters is right there on the other side of Lafayette Square. I'm sure there'd be somebody climbing up on the roof with a javelin and just, in top attack mode and kill your killdozer. So, yeah. Yes, those go down very deep. Anything for Selena says, this cannot be real. Oh, it was real. It was 100% real. Maybe he's just a Buddhist. Well, I don't know. Yes, he's like, the Nazis are my people. I don't know. Yeah, that or an in-law, yes. Yes. So what else? I just think it's very interesting when they talk about it. So his actions caused $4,000 in damage and over $50,000 damage to the U-Haul. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he totaled that. But yes, the cost had to repair for the metal bollards barriers to the original condition, the oil and chemical cleanup. Like, oh yes, because it was so dangerous. He spilled chemicals on the ground. It was so bad. He planned this attack for several weeks. I'm hoping there was a lot more to the attack than just drive-through barrier and ta-da. Yes. Attack White House. Question mark, question mark, question mark for step 2. And then part 3. Become the leader of Nazi America. So, for example, this guy, yes, he made planning. He requested 25 guards at an armored convoy from a security company in Virginia. I'm not gonna lie. Why weren't they like calling him like those guys? Whoever he called should have been like, "Hey, Secret Service, yeah, you might want to look into this." I don't know why they didn't. But he tried to get a large dump truck or a tractor trailer. Like even a semi truck would not have defeated that. He also tried to get security guards and tried to arrange the services of these guards in order to carry out his offense against the U.S. government, which I'm not gonna lie, like you can skip the Nazi part at the end, but if you want to go take down the government, like homie, all you had to do was just do a GoFundMe and people would have helped out. So yeah, so we don't know what's gonna happen to him. It will be very interesting. Um, I don't think he actually faces too much time really at this point. So Benjamin Lewis says finally U-Haul got an oil change. Was this all for a TikTok or something? Yes, I don't know. Yes. Shout out to my sponsor, U-Haul. Oh, yeah. 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 Yes. Yes. Oh, like I said, Chad, I just think it's so funny at times, so funny at times how these things play out. It's so funny. And so weird. Drink that weed. Smoke that liquor. Interesting way of doing it, but maybe it gives you a good buzz. Says, but you're our retard, Sean. Yes. Coke Fairy says, repetition always works. Yes, when it comes to studying. And yes, he has plenty of things to appeal. And clinical decision, yikes. Says, Sean, hope to see you again on the casino. Yeah, I don't know. What's up the worst game PPP? Third chair, read the following in your best MGS voice. Yes. Punish Rekieta. A lol cow to surpass even Ethan Ralph. Yes, I just still think Nick could be like, who is behind this betrayal? Who? Spooky Pen says, worked at a legal document service company for 7 years, a virtual LLA. Looking to transition to a local law office, but never worked at one. What would you look for in a legal secretary type employee? I mean, do you have access, or I mean, do you have, you probably don't have any prior work you've done, but yeah, just the ability to handle the documents, understand scheduling. You may have, you may have to learn how to use a billing system. Those types of things. I mean, just that you're competent, you understand to be on top of it, you understand deadlines. And yeah, I think those are some of the biggest things you want in office staff if you're working. Because I know attorneys have had office staff that are good, but they've also had office staff that cause problems. So yeah, it's understandable out there. Malevolent says the Killdozer was ridiculously well armored. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But I'm not sure. I bet a javelin might go through it. That would have been fun to test. Yes. So, we have what are we on to next here? Hold on, guys. I'm trying to check through. Yes. Yes, we got now we're getting into P. Diddy's world. And this is, I think, gonna be one if I'm P. Diddy, I would be shitting bricks right now. So P. Diddy's alleged drug mule. P. Diddy had, and if you guys remember the lawsuit we covered, P. Diddy had a guy who was basically his drug fixer, the guy who carried around all the drugs, and he won't face prison time for a drug charge. So it's Diddy's guy. His name is Brendan Paul, not related to Jake Paul or anything like that. Um, So his Mule is not facing drug time after being caught with cocaine and marijuana charges. And this happened as the feds were raiding Diddy's house. So when Diddy's house was being raided, this guy was getting ready to run aboard one of Diddy's private jets when the cops in Miami stopped him. They found a small amount of cocaine and a bunch of marijuana gummies. So he's charged with coke possession and later pled not guilty. On Thursday, he was pre-approved for pretrial diversion by the state's attorney's office, meaning the prosecutor. If he completes a 6-month substance abuse course, not meaning he actually has to go to rehab, but he's going to be taking classes, going to like intensive outpatient, probably getting a drug and alcohol assessment, all that stuff, his case will be dismissed. Now, he's a first-time offender and all that, so is diversion normally what happens? Sure, but I'm sure there were a lot of questions and interviews done with him before he got approved for this. So if I was Diddy, I'd be shitting a brick right now. So the program's offered to nonviolent offenders with no records. Yep, and that's true. He didn't have enough drugs to be arrested for drug trafficking. And his arrest was not related to the raid on Diddy's mansion. True. But I also, when you're in these things, part of these is you have to work and cooperate with law enforcement. So I'm sure he got a lot of interviews in the meantime because of Diddy's ongoing sex trafficking investigation, which, if you read that lawsuit, oh boy, it's weird, man. It's weird and it's not funny. So we'll see what happens with that. It kind of put a pin in that. See what happens to Diddy. Was it more or less than an ounce? I'm assuming it was less. Ariel says, Michelle Troconis is being sentenced tomorrow already. Yes. And guys, we are going to cover that. I will not be available right that moment. We'll watch it later in the afternoon. But yes, Michelle Troconis is being sentenced. She's probably going to be facing life. So we'll see. Yes, it was 29.69 ounces. Yeah. Funny stuff. You're a funny guy, Sully. And then other news, and this is if you guys follow Laid Back Law, or if you follow Law Pod Daily with Norm Pattis and his co-pilot there. They Norm Pattis was Alex Jones's attorney, if you guys remember, for his case involving the Sandy Hook defamation, where he got awarded $6 gazillion for bullshit, including making an FBI agent cry. So all I can say is suffer, Sandy Hook, suffer. A lot of suffering tonight, chat. A lot of people have to suffer. So Alex Jones' lawyer, Norm Pattis, has his law license suspension overturned by the Connecticut Courts of Appeal. So, yes, as a result of the trial with Alex Jones here in Connecticut, his law license was going to be suspended. Why? Well, it's interesting. If you guys have seen Norm Pattis, he's got the ponytail and all the hair. And it's funny because we mentioned Michelle Troconis just now. That's a great tie-in because he defended Fotis Dulos, who is Michelle Troconis' co-defendant, but he roadblocks himself a couple of years ago, so now it's just Michelle going to trial. So Norm Pattis, who defended Alex Jones in his defamation suit by the Sandy Hook families, was facing a license suspension, but he was able to continue practicing his law uninterrupted because the suspension was hanging over his head until he appealed it, and it got reversed. The Court of Appeals said, nope, we're not allowing that. That's bullshit, which is good. So a local judge, and it's weird how this works. In some states, like for John Eastman and Norm Pattis, a local judge oversaw the license being suspended, and this is the judge that did the trial. That's so weird. Like in Ohio, if I fucked up and a judge thought I should be in trouble, I get referred out to the Supreme Court, who's in charge of disciplining attorneys. So it's a little different how they did it there. Anyway, this followed a finding that Pattis' law office, and you as an attorney, you're in charge of your people. If your secretary does something, you're on the hook for that unless you can show it was completely like unforeseeable and like just a real case of the stupids. But it was believed that he helped confidential medical records from the Sandy Hook families were sent from the Connecticut case to lawyers representing two parents. So Alex Jones was also sued in Austin, Texas, and they were sent to the people down in Texas. Alex Jones's attorneys there. So what happened from there? And they point out that it was an unfair process that happened as they appealed the license suspension. So what ultimately was the issue here? The appeals court found that the judge properly applied some of the rules of professional conduct, but was not correct in her application of others. And that's a big deal. You have to do it right as a judge. The court improperly determined that Pattis had violated 3 sections of the rules. So what happens is it's getting remanded back to the court for a sanctions hearing, but a different judge gets to decide it. So Norm Pattis is going to be good on that. He's been a member since 1993 and has no prior record of disciplinary action. Those are all big things, because if he had a checkered history, that would probably be a little tougher for him. But he doesn't. Norm's a good boy. So Pattis is also representing Joe Biggs, one of the Proud Boys who got charged with seditious conspiracy at the January 6th riot. Oogie boogie boogie. Notice they want to make Joe. They're making Norm here to be the bad man. Listen, guys, he represented Alex Jones, who the Sandy Hook. Like, look, my Sandy Hook, my January 6th. They just want you to be fired up about it. So yes, in October, Alex Jones was ordered to pay $1.5 billion. Load of bullshit. So what happened exactly? Well, the Sandy Hook family lawyers gave Norm Pattis nearly 400,000 pages of documents as part of discovery in the Connecticut case, and about 4,000 pages that contained medical records. So Pattis's office sent an external hard drive containing the records to Jones's lawyers in Texas at their request. So the attorneys down there requested it. Hold on here. Yes, we'll be talking about that, Molshiri. We'll talk about that. So the Texas lawyers then showed it with another Jones attorney. The records were never released. So that's, part of it too. These weren't released records. These attorneys were working together. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully Norm gets out of this without too much flack, but who knows? Who knows? Was it Lord Baldo? No. Was it a shower text? No. Norm may get his hand slapped. Yeah, he'll probably get his hand slapped. But Luke says Michelle Sense is going to take over 4 hours, so I expect to do Karen Reed on the weekend, by the way. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. So yeah, we'll definitely work on Michelle Trakunas tomorrow. You tagged me Twitter about a Pentagon news conference. Thank you. I'll get to that. So yes, there are, guys, it's just interesting. Things are happening for people, and for Norm, it's like, congratulations. He's escaping some of the bullshit that's out there, but he had to deal with this for how long now? I mean, imagine that eating at you, especially as an attorney, your livelihood just being eaten away like that. Be horrible. So in other news, and we saw this, and we're, as much as I know you guys might think ESPN's all woke and full of bullshit, Scottie Scheffler, the #1 golfer in the world, is having charges dropped against him. And what happened initially is he got arrested. So he was arrested as he was getting ready for the PGA Championship at Valhalla Golf Club. And this happened last week. And here's actually some good explanation of what happened.
The PGA tournament, you may remember he was arrested. Also today, officials said the arresting officer did not have his body camera on during the incident, which is technically a violation of their policy.
Yeah, isn't that kind of funny? You know, oh, I didn't have my body camera on. I'm going to charge you with all kinds of felonies, including assaulting an officer.
Scheffler was pulled over. He was arrested when he tried to enter the championship. Police were on the scene there directing traffic around a deadly crash. And the golfer says he was following directions. The arresting officer says the pro golfer refused to comply and instead accelerated, dragging him to the ground. NBC News correspondent Maura Barrett is following.
So that's what the officer says. Now, the footage came out of what happened here, and it's interesting. It's very interesting, chat. So this is actually the video of what happened. So this is at the golf club. I don't want to make sure you guys are seeing this. So, yes, Scott Sneedler. Yes. Yes, stop resisting. Stop. So here we go. Here's what happened. You're going to see Scottie Scheffler's car come in and turn in. Now, notice the cop said he got dragged and it was dangerous and acceleration and oh my God, it was horrible. Watch. Yeah, does that look like somebody who got dragged and like drugged along the ground? Does that look like that? Or does that look like a lying fucking cop? Looks like a lying cop, don't it? Don't it? Don't it look like a lying cop? Well, things got even better because the charges were dropped this week. Completely dropped. And Scottie Scheffler's attorney actually gave a statement. And I think this is hilarious because I find no lies to be detected here. So this is Scottie Scheffler's attorney.
Steve, I have to ask you, though, the statements that Scottie made after the arrest don't seem to fully align with what you're saying right now. He admits that he got impatient and went too far.
No, here's what happened, is he is being interrogated after the most stressful situation of his life, right? And the officer is actually asking him leading questions and trying to get him to agree with them, okay? And that's why you don't talk to the police, because they are going to try to put words in your mouth.
Preach, 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 preach.
But
And
this was
that's
after,
exactly what they did.
But that was after he read his Miranda rights. He didn't
Of
have
course.
to.
And more importantly, she's focusing on that, not on the fact the cop lied. He said a bunch of things that happened that didn't happen. Why aren't you knocking on the police chief's door saying, why do you have somebody in your department who lies in their reports and makes up things to arrest people? That's the problem here. And if I was him, I'd have brought that up. Why aren't you mad at this detective for fucking lying? Doesn't matter what Scottie Scheffler did.
He didn't have to speak. But again, he asked to talk to the officer. He wanted to explain to him what happened. However, they are trying to get him to confess to something that he didn't do. And the video evidence shows he didn't do it.
Steve, I have to ask.
So, yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, listen to her. It's like, well, why did he say all these things? It doesn't matter what he said. What happened? So, interestingly enough, the detective, Brian Gillis, released a statement. And part of Scottie Scheffler's agreement is he promises not to sue anyone. And that, you know, Scottie Scheffler's being very magnanimous. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to let this go. Screw all these people. Y'all can move on. Joseph says lawsuits are expensive. Yeah, they're expensive, but Scottie would basically, you know, the city of Louisville and that officer would just have to keep writing a check. They literally would lose. But Scottie Scheffler is being a nice man. He doesn't have to be. So. Yes, well, yes, and yes. So this officer says Well, the family, Mr. Mills, because there was a vehicle, there was somebody who got killed and run over. Right there. That's what they were working the scene of. Ensuring the safety of everyone in the vicinity was the utmost priority. I'm sure it was. Mr. Scheffler and I both agree there will be no ill will over this going forward. Instead of giving a negative public reaction, he chose to speak with dignity, humility, and respect. My family and I appreciate that. Fine, I'll say it. You're a lying piece of shit. You fucking coward. Brian Gillis, you are a bitch. It was unfortunate and disturbing to hear Steve Romine's commentary today claiming a false arrest was made. And for him to challenge my honesty and integrity. You're a fucking liar. I'd be surprised and disappointed if Mr. Scheffler actually had any part in making those comments. To be clear, I was drugged by the car. I went to the ground and I received visible injury to my knees and wrist. No, you didn't. It's not clear at all. It's not clear at all, Home Slice. The fact it got dismissed shows us it's not clear. I'm going to recover from it and we'll be okay. This is the extent of my commentary on the incident. The reality is that there are more important things in the world right now than a back and forth over this. A person lost his life that day and a family lost a loved one. Yep. And an innocent man was illegally arrested by piece of shit officers. Led by you. And your false report. At the end of the day, I take pride in working for the people in the community to preserve their safety. I spent 2 decades trying to protect the city through some challenging times. And I would like to keep doing so without the distractions caused by this series of events. What, like that you're a fucking liar and we can't trust you? I mean, yeah. I wish Scottie Scheffler and his family all the best. Sincerely, blah, blah. And he says, yes, the department has us buying freaking $80 pants. To those concerned, they were indeed ruined. But Scottie, it's all good. I would never have guessed I'd have the most famous pair of pants in the country for a few weeks because of this. Take care and be safe. Brian, fuck you. Fuck you, you cocksucker. Fucking lying cocksucker. Lying cocksucker. Lying cocksucker. Liar, liar, pants on fire. So. Yeah. Just absolute shit. And look like, you know, won't even just admit, yeah, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I lied. Oh. So. Oh no, I'm stuck in an autistic loop. Yeah. Yes. And I forget there was a tweet. There was earlier this week, somebody had found his disciplinary record. Guy's a very long disciplinary record. Shocker. Shocker, I know. So. Moving on though, this is actually very interesting. This isn't a criminal thing, but this is what not to do as a lawyer. What not to do as a lawyer. And there's some easy things here not to do. So a big law firm is fired by its client for arguing maybe a 9-year-old girl was negligent in becoming an abuse victim. Yes. So what happened? Well, you know, good job out there. You know, I'm sure these guys are Harvard-trained lawyers. So Wilson Elzer is a law firm that represented American Airlines in a lawsuit brought by the family of a 9-year-old girl lured into an airline's bathroom where a flight attendant had rigged his phone to record children going to the bathroom. They point out, we use the past tense because American dropped this top 100 law firm in favor of a Texas firm after the law firm argued the kid knew or should have known the bathroom contained a visible and illuminated recording device. Now, is it there? Does it exist? Yes, it does exist. And yes, there are pictures of the thing. And, you know, this is what was found in the... This is the actual picture of what they found on the airline, the way it was set up by the flight attendant. Now, yes, I'm sure if me or you walked in there, we'd say, huh, something's wrong. This doesn't make sense. Seems kind of sketch. But for a 9-year-old kid, and even let's say we didn't. You have an expectation that the airlines are not hiring people who are going to voyeur on you while you take a piss. So, yeah. But yes, to go in there and make an argument a 9-year-old was contributorily negligent, because that's what they're arguing. They're arguing negligence on her part because the family's suing the airlines. And they're saying, look, you should have known. You've assumed the risk. You should have known there was going to be a camera there. Is your kid that stupid it doesn't understand that? Because it's pretty obviously the camera's on. There's a big light there. It's this kid dumb enough to think there's toilets like that. Yeah. That's their argument. And I get the idea of zealously representing your client, but sometimes you got to take an L, especially on something like this. So, yes, blaming children for sexual abuse is frowned upon in polite society. Blaming children for neglect is also frowned upon as well. So, but is the law firm getting a bum rap? Yeah. So, American Airlines employed a flight attendant the feds charged with attempted sexual exploitation of children and possession of images of child sexual abuse. But when the victims approached the company that enabled the abuse, it opted to fight it out in court. And we don't know what happened or what was the communication there, but you know what? Yes. Hey, instead of quietly settling, which you should have done, the law firm should have settled this. There's no way you win this. And it doesn't matter. They might be asking for a shitload of money, but you know what you tell American Airlines? You're going to have to eat shit and deal with this. This is your problem. You're going to have to deal with it. But let's create a public record of callous obstinance. They think that, the guy who writes this, probably the filing's made because the companies are scrambling to settle. And that is not advised. They should have been looking to settle pronto. And yes, is this a defense the outside counsel has to assert if it's going to court? Sure. And you're arguing negligence. You kind of have to do that in your initial responses. But that's where you avoid going to trial by settling. And yes, you argue some level of comparative or contributory negligence is the minimum required amount. But you can't argue it didn't happen and we're not responsible for our employees don't work. And they're right. But this is where you settle. You settle. They might ask for a lot, but you still settle. Oh my God. You settle. So, geez. Those guys are probably taking a big hit because I bet American Airlines uses them for a lot of business. A lot of business. Oh. It's just. Oh. 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 All fun. Yes, settling is probably a good idea. This is just another conspiracy to bring down the small town airlines. Yes, you're right. Robert Barnes will help fix this problem. Yes. Fuck those kids. 9-year-olds should know it's not there. When I was 9 years old, I knew that there were pedos around. Yeah. So where did the recordings go? Well, he used his phone, and then presumably he would take his phone and then have the recordings on the phone. I mean, this wasn't like a super like sophisticated operation. So, oh, yep. So, so interestingly enough, is a taco a sandwich? Well, it does depend on the law. This is interesting here, and we're gonna do the local one because I don't want to give the New York Times any credit out of it. So, are tacos sandwiches? A local judge ruled in the favor of a court, and now you might think, "Oh, this is kind of stupid," but you know what? It's people getting one over on the government, so it's like, yeah, I'm kind of like for it. So, a civil case about this, the judge put an opinion to an end between a restaurateur and the county planning commission over what was being built at an 11,000 square foot mall. I mean, the problem was that this guy was making a taco store. Okay. He accepted it, but he was limited to any restaurant, one that did not offer alcohol and did not allow outdoor seating, and only sold made to order Subway style sandwiches. Which that's you know, the idea of the agreement is to keep out like fast food chains. Okay, you know what? That makes sense. You're allowed. It's a reason. Is it a kind of a dumb reason? Sure, but you're allowed to make that reason. That's a dumb reason to have an argument, but you can do it. The court agrees that Quintana, the tacos and burritos are Mexican style sandwiches. And the written commitment does not restrict potential restaurants only to American style cuisine. Which, fair enough. What is a bread and meat dish in other places? You didn't use American style cuisine. Although you could also argue American style. You could argue Tex-Mex is American. That's an American cuisine too. So I think if you had to make that argument later down the road. So the written commitment, the original one, the restaurants could have served Heroes, Indian non-wraps, or Vietnamese banh mi if these restaurants complied with other conditions. So if you could do all the other things, you could do a hero. That's a great taco. Why can't you do tacos? So, yeah, it's funny, but that's sometimes you have to do this. You have to do this. And burgers are American style sandwiches. Well, yeah, that would be a sandwich. It's a poorly written restrictive covenant. Yes, but a judge had to see, and this is the thing. It's a poorly written document that a judge had to then fix. So at first the property was zoned to be residential, which this part's all weird. And he wanted to build a garage there as the space grew roughly to 11,000 square feet with work stoppages due to code violations. It was like, people are like, what exactly are you doing with the property? And yeah, it's a little confusing. Like this part here really makes me like, I'd love to see this place in real life. Like it started out as a garage, I put a garage in, and then it just like kept expanding. Like, what are you doing? That part's so weird to me. That's so weird. So he went through the city council to have it properly rezoned and limited to commercial. And he came up with a new plan and then changed that to make the property a strip mall with a restaurant, 4 other units. You know, this led that he was trying to build a shopping center without the proper permits or the proper channels. So not in my backyard, and the code enforcement people tried to screw with him. So the neighborhood association was like, no, we don't want tacos here. They didn't support the restaurant. But they eventually hammered out an amendment so they could allow it. So he's like, I'll give you guys free tacos. And they're like, okay. So the planning commission, though, it didn't approve the amendment, which left Famous Taco in limbo. The applicant did not present this type of restaurant as an exception to the ban of all restaurants from the shopping center. The commission wrote. Okay, well, the judge said, yeah, I'm not faulting the planning commission for its denial. And he made sure, like, You guys can appeal this. I think he's trying to be like, look, I made a decision, but it's all you. You can do what you want. Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, oh well. So we'll see if tacos are still, yes, the taco dozer. Yes. That's a shame says I should do some on-scene reporting. Funny. Oh well. That is a funny one. That is a funny one. That is a funny one, chat. And then I think the where we need to end, and this is something a bunch of you sent me and I've seen today. So remember, don't commit crimes on camera. I say this with all sincerity in my heart. Please do not commit crimes on camera. Like, look at me. Please don't commit crimes on camera. Don't commit crimes on camera. The results don't end well. And this is out of this is from a channel, Judge J. Cedric Simpson. He does multiple his court does YouTube and they air things here. This is great. Just don't do it, chat. Just watch. Just watch. Watch with me.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present in Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me one
So the answer is yes, you're driving a motor vehicle.
second. I'm parking right now.
Great.
Now, if you guys haven't heard about this story, there's a little bit of an issue that's going to create a problem.
You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Smart move by the public defender. Judge, hey, can we continue this? Because she knows why this guy driving right now is not a good idea.
So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Yeah, there's a lot of ums there.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Assistant Public
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yep. This is the First Amendment violation. Barnes will get him off. Yeah. She be laughing too. You know what though? But what can you do in that situation? I've been in that situation. What else can you do but laugh? I mean, you have to. If you can't laugh, what are you gonna do? You'll go crazy. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Yep. Felted. Yep. Yep. Felted. So. Yeah. He's traveling, not driving. Yep. I'm sure that's going to help him. I'm sure that's going to fix it. You got felted said, how dumb do you have to be? I mean, you know, a lot of people are dumb out there. What do you want me to say? At least he was wearing a seatbelt. I mean, yes, that's great. It's great. Yes. I mean, yes, safety first. So, we got to catch up on some more of these comments here. Down Forward Punch says, enjoy prison, Trump baby, stalker child. Question. Can you mail the finest Milwaukee pepperoni to jail? No, but you can get pepperoni and commissary in some of the jails. Also, what is Trump's whereabouts when the outdoor lounge chairs were stolen? I don't know. Maybe that's the real conspiracy Barnes should be looking into. Stephen Cooper says, Mark Garagos is better than Barnes. Yeah. I mean, well, Mark Garagos isn't exactly bad 1,000 either. Down Forward Punch is a new member. So Winston Smith says, I was dumb and did my outlines the week before finals. Still graduated as a cum lord. Well, congrats to you. Gunmetal Wolf says, drag a cop? Scottie doesn't know. Don't tell Scottie. Yeah, Scotty's like, I don't know. You got felt it says base Sean. Down Forward Punch says, oh, the camera's on? It's been on the whole time, huh? And Scarebro says, I don't know, Sean. I was told today by numerous people that kids as young as, 6 should be able to cook a hot meal and a load of laundry. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Totally. And Pepsi Man saying, have you gotten that affidavit for Noel's petition yet? I actually worked with Matthew Harden this afternoon. We had to change it up a little bit, but we are modifying it. So he wanted to modify it based on one of the Alyssa clips that's out there. So it'll be getting out tomorrow. But yes, I'm involved. Friendly Comic Fan says, have you considered the children could have picked up the liquor bottles and flushed the party favors? Why didn't Nick's kids step up? It builds character. Nick is helping them. Stop grifting. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, that's it, guys. We're actually caught up. We're all done. That's it for tonight. Wow, we got it all done in under 2.5 hours. I'm impressed. I'm proud of ourselves, chat. We did a great job. Can you get David Schneider to sign the petition? That'd be funny. That would be hilarious. You know what? I don't know why she's pissed. I said, I heard something. And then she runs around screaming like her hair is on fire. And she's worried about me calling me pig. I'm like, well, you eat dirt. I don't know what you want me to say. Pigs eat dirt. So, can Monograph sign the petition? No, because they're looking for... Well, Monograph can sign the petition, yeah, but I'm sure that's already been done 55,000 times by people claiming to be Monty. So, yeah. So, Garagos sucks, but Barnes hates him, so he can't be that bad. Yeah. So, all right, guys, so that's it for tonight. Thank you for everybody being here. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of you sticking around to the end. Over 700 of you still here. Please like, subscribe, guys. And yeah, that's it. We are going to be heading over to Locals to do the after show now. And yeah, potentiallycriminal.locals.com. And we will see you guys there. So until next time, guys, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. And to be fair, I think President Trump should have been found not guilty. So good night, chat. Good night.